Okay, so I just did a live stream over at Random Street Theater, and the response was very lackluster. So now here I am again. I am on my own channel, or Richard Leland Neal, and I'm wondering if anybody's going to show up. This is one of those things you can do to find out if it's worth it. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Okay. Everything seems to be working. No one's here, but everything seems to be working. Maybe we'll pick some people up. Numbers are pretty good for my channel here, even though none of you are here to see it. I don't know why I bother doing this sometimes. I mean, I really need to get some set times. Chris Nanuki. Hey, Richard. What's up, bro? Just pulling a live stream here, seeing who shows up. I mean, I got work tonight, so I can't do this too long, but the old holy algorithm demands sacrifice. Squirrel! Hello, kid. Kid? Dude, I'm getting gray hair. Or do you mean Kit? She's on top of the printer. Kit. Kit is licking her butthole. Okay, there are a few people watching, but nobody appears to have any questions for me. Squirrel, your English is really good. It's already sounding so smooth and natural. Keep it up. You're doing great. I'm an American. I speak English. Who did you think I was? So, does anybody have any questions of the 9 of you who are watching? Because that's generally what runs these things. Watching football. You are watching grown men play with balls. You realize that. I've always wondered why that's a thing. Squirrel. I thought you were German. I have some European blood, but no German, no. I have a particular subscriber from Germany who's more comfortable speaking in German, and I have told him, if that's what you're comfortable with, speak in German, and I will be able to translate. So, uh, no, I am American. I speak no language other than American, and I speak very clear and concise American. Yeah, I actually had myself sequenced. They've checked my DNA, and the strongest group in my DNA is Ashkenazi, which is a European Jew. And, it says that I'm so much percent British, which means that my family has been banging around Britain for a while. But Britain, the difference between England and Britain is that Britain is all the countries incorporated into England, like Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. So it's like if they ask me what color Irish are you green Irish or orange Irish? Technically, I'm orange Irish, although I've never identified as orange Irish. Orange Irish is still under the crown. Knight, why are you bothering Kit while she's cleaning her butthole? Kit needs to be able to clean her butthole. If existence is finite, what lies beyond it? Greenland? Technically speaking, I believe we would. Hey, Tim, what's up? I believe we would dissipate back into the ether. Night. You know what happens? I'm surrounded by kitties, but none of them want to cuddle. Night. You know what happens if you interrupt the video, right? You become part of it. He's looking at me like, "What are you saying again?" Chris Minuki, did you watch Squid Game and do you have any season 3 predictions? No, I did not watch Squid Game. I don't have Netflix. I had Netflix, but I got Netflix specifically to support my movie review pastime. And, it turns out I don't make enough money on YouTube to support a Netflix habit. And I have enough friends who can give me free Netflix stuff. But although I think I could watch Squid Game, I could make a few phone calls, and be able to watch it. It's just, it's not something that's ever really come up for me. What's on your screen? This is a piece of art that is featured currently on Photographs of a Mad Richard. And this was a pendulum painting that was at a hotel that I worked at. And I took a picture of it, and I changed the color scheme to create this. So, I could get my mouse over. Yeah, see, here's photographs of a Mad Richard. And like here's another version of the same thing. You know, the white stays constant, but it's the other colors. Oops, went too far. And you can see I have a lot of artwork. Squirrel, are those mini discs up there in your display case? And do you like those basil shapes on the monitor? I do. You probably program, don't you? No, I don't program, and those are not. Those are display case. That's my closet. And I think you're looking at my DVD collection, which I have mothballed many years ago. And it's there was a point where I started just collecting cheap DVDs, so I have a lot of them. And I did that because I wanted to review movies. But then I have access to much more bizarre movies now. So if if the internet ever went down and push came to shove, that's my reserve of movies to review. And again, I would like to get to the point where I am removing or where I am reviewing movies every day, and I have many movies to review. So it's like I have reviews up for whenever, but I don't know. I just too depressed. Like, I never got into coding. I wanted to get into coding, but I've got so much I'm trying to accomplish in my life, and none of it's really working out. You know what I mean? You should do a tribute to David Lynch. Well, you're the second person to say that, Tim. Why so glum, chum? Uh, I have to be at work tonight. After I leave work tonight, I've got 8 hours off to be at work again. And it's the same job. Did you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Yes, I did. In high school. And I still think I have my copy. So I intend to read it again. Uh, Philip K. Dick is known for having bad titles. His original title for Total Recall was We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. So, again, very interesting man. He had a mental illness. And Blade Runner, the movie, has almost nothing to do with Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Which is kind of sad because if you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, it is a very interesting story about the death of the environment, essentially. Now I'm out of Coke. Incidentally, guys, um, my job, there is no microwave, and I can't leave the building. This could change in the next couple of weeks, but it is a really miserable place to work. Squirrel, I love the book. I also like Blade Runner. Glad you like it as well. Well, I mean, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is one of the most classic. I mean, it's not in the top 10, but it's in the top 50, I believe. So, I mean, I think the quintessential book for sci-fi geeks like myself is like Dune. Oh, come on now. Stop your bitching. You wanted a job, you got a job, and you have some income coming in. You certainly don't have any income from YouTube coming in, so just take what you can get. Yeah, I have income from YouTube. Not enough to live off of, not a significant amount, but I was just going to mention. Oh, hi, Pesky. What's up? I was just going to mention to the crowd here that if any of you did want to buy from my Amazon wish list, now would be a good time to buy me MREs, all right? Because uh, I am going to be stuck in a place with no microwave. So whatever I bring with me gets eaten cold. So this would actually be a great environment Yes, Pishi. My bad, Pishi. Why is it Pishi anyway? I mean, just to understand that what I'm looking at is a P in a circle. So I don't know if you're a dude or a chick or how old you are or what you're into. All I know is that you're a P in a circle. So I mean, I'm recognizing the name. Is it like Joe Pesci, Chris Minuki? Well, Pesci, is it Joe Pesci? Isn't that Joe Pesci? Okay, so you're a dude. Why don't you just go by Joe? It'd be easier to say. Maybe because there's just too many Joes out there. Chris Minuki, yeah. Yeah, yeah, my heart's in the world. I love my little calendar girl every day. Uh, yeah, I probably should have combed my hair before this, but what do you guys think of this living mass atop my head? That's always a question I have. Because every now and again I do a video where I don't comb my hair or I don't shave, and it's like favorite Adam Sandler movie I would say is Happy Gilmore. It's the only one that actually comes to mind at the moment. Yeah, I like Sandler. Don't get me wrong, but he's kind of one note. I guess Little Nicky was an interesting film as well. Squirrel, I like the hair. Yeah, that's because squirrels could nest in this mop. Oh, it's not Eraserhead tier, but it's cool. I've been meaning to see Eraserhead, but I don't know if I'm ready for it. I hear it's a pretty crazy film. Tim Elliott, typical bedhead. Yeah, I mean, I my barber, and she's been my barber for a very long time, changed venues. So I have to make an appointment now. And I'm just not really good with appointments right now. Fernando Ramirez, remember me again. Um, Fernando, that's a really weird thing to say. I mean, I remember you from previous live streams. Did we know each other before you was subscribed? Pishi, how are your job interviews? Well, I have one job, and I may have a second job soon, but there's some clerical issues with the second job. Okay, they're trying to verify my employment. I still have to get some paperwork done for them, and one job pays okay, the other job pays miserable, but the job that pays miserable is closer to home, and they both appear to be. I mean, they're probably both going to be part time. That's what the employer is shooting for. So it's like I say, I have a bunch of hard turnarounds coming up because there's a 24-hour post that I'm working on, and I mean there always has to be a guard there for safety reasons. And there were originally four of us, now there's only three of us. And it's just the employer does not understand the concept of how security works. They're new to the world of security, so they don't know how common call offs are. So I don't know what's up with that. That job might not be around a while. And the other job, well, it's one of those jobs where it sucks so bad it's really hard to believe you'll get fired. Squirrel, I think you're cool. It's late here, but I can feel that you're deeply empathetic and incredibly thoughtful, which puts you in a different position than many others around you. Squirrel, and I really admire that. People like you are what take the world beyond its limits, and I truly mean that. Thanks, bro. Chris Manuki, I gotta bounce later, man. I'll see you next time. Uh, so Squirrel, I have an IQ of 130, which means that I am two deviations above the norm. And I don't. I think that maybe puts me in the top 30% of intelligences. But I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of processing. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that a lot of people who disagree with me, I have to tell them it's like, look, I do a lot of research. You just don't understand how much. So when I say something, unless you have some pretty solid counter evidence, you're not going to change my mind easily. But I mean, most people are like that. But again, what I'm based on is evidence. Pishi, why are you doing guard jobs when you're massively intelligent? You have a big brain. Yeah, the problem is, it's like I went to college, right? And, you know, I went to college at Cal State Fullerton, and one of the things I tried was to be a playwright. And the teacher was like, you need to follow my friend's book, which is the book we use in class, okay? And literally every time I brought a play in, her thing was, no, you need to throw this out and write something completely different. So I only took one playwriting class. And I was so good at playwriting that this woman just kept harassing me until I changed to a psychology major. So why am I doing guard jobs when I'm this intelligent? Well, it's because, I'm just, well, one, I'm incredibly unlucky. And two, in psychology, we have a saying the abusers find the abused. So every time something major is going to materialize in my life, it kind of just falls flat. So I've had a very unpleasant life because of that. Also, my family did not want me to go to college. They kept fighting me. Chris, clearly, how'd your job interview go? I have a job. I will be going to work tonight. Don't congratulate me. It's not that great of a job. I mean, they didn't even take my bank information, so there's no direct deposit. But on the good side of things, on the good side of things, Valentine, do you have to be starting business during my live stream? Knight, don't encourage him. On the upside, this is a job where I can bring my laptop and I can render. All right. One thing I cannot do, however, is access the internet. Even my phone, even my phone is blocked at work. I can. Oh, you two, shut up. Okay, which one of you wants to be in the video? One more howl out of either of you. There's a rule in my house. If a cat interrupts a video, the cat gets to be in the video. And it's not very strictly enforced, but Valentine is causing trouble. I have not seen Squid Games, Chris. I don't know. I'm fostering. I have a lot of cats, Pishi. Pesci. How did I name them? I looked at them and figured out a name. Okay. Some of them, it's very clear. Like, if you've all seen Caramel, he is a caramel colored cat, and he is my sweet old boy. So he's supposed to be as sweet as caramel. Kit, I don't know. I just looked at her and said Kit. Knight, on the other hand, um, he's a big black cat, and when he was a kitten, he had a lesion on his eye that was apparently from an infection, and his eye was all red. So I called him Night Flight because red eye didn't seem appropriate. And, I've just always called him Night after that. Now, Valentine, he has a heart shape on his nose. So I call him Valentine. You know, there's another cat with a heart shape on its side. His name is Heart. And then I've got, a cat named Ghost because it's all white. And, it's just one of those things. It's like Nim and Nimbus. Nim stands for the secrets of Nim. So it's like National Institute of Mental Health, I believe. But when I looked at her, she had stripes that disappeared. When I had her as a kitten, the kitten had stripes. So her stripes disappeared. So I said she has a secret. So secrets of Nim. Now Nimbus has two definitions. A nimbus can be either the halo around a saint or a nimbus cloud, which is a rain cloud. So Nimbus looks like a rain cloud. So I named her Nimbus. You know, so that's just one of those things. Is that I happen to be very good at naming animals. It's just one thing I do. So I will go out there and name animals. You know, and people say, well, why do you have names for them if you're trying to get homes for them? It's very simple that you actually, with the adoption service, need to have a name for them in order for them to get adopted. So that's part of that. Although that's kind of cruel when you think about it, because you give them a name and you get attached to them. But I mean, I come up with names. I mean, Wolf. She just looked like a wolf to me. That's what came to mind. And she has a son named Bear. And Bear, I couldn't name him Wolf, but he was a big, cuddly old fellow. Well, he's a small, cuddly old fellow, but he's cuddly like a teddy bear. So, he's Bear. That's kind of the world we live in. Lady Wiser, is that very polite? Are you Chris Farley's brother? No, I'm John Candy reincarnated. Man, I don't think of myself as a very attractive man, but seriously, Chris Farley? Do I look? Well, I guess right now I do look like I live in a. Yes, Lady Wiser, I'm a big fat white guy. I know I look like Chris Farley. People have also said John Candy, Peter Griffin, and the dude that stole Pee Wee Herman's bike in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I've also been compared to Joe Pesci, although I don't know why. Lemo, I don't see what's so funny. Of course, then, life is a joke. Those of us who are laughing get it. So there's about 10 of you now. Anybody else have something to say? I mean, 8 of you. This is not going well. And only 4 people have liked this. my six now. Lady Wiser, you should laugh more. Life is too short to waste on serious BS. It's kind of part of my Ukrainian heritage, believe it or not, that we're not a people that smile. It's just one of those things. It is not common for a person of my heritage to smile, and I have very few reasons to smile. For those of you who know my history, I've had a very unpleasant life, and it's one of those things. One of the things that happened is that I have a very strong reaction to Prozac, which is a medication I am prescribed, and uh, I don't take it nearly as often as I should. It's part of the problem. But when I first started taking Prozac, I started losing weight so rapidly that I overloaded my kidneys. And the reason for that is because my particular kind of depression shuts you down. So if I could conquer my depression, which is very difficult, I'd probably smile a lot more. I would probably also have an incredibly terrible reaction where I started losing weight rapidly and had to always keep water on hand because I'd overload my kidneys and would be just, running to the restroom every 5 minutes, but I'd be getting things done. Uh, okay, there's seven of you. But nobody has anything to say. I guess that means that we don't have seven men in the chat, because if you get four men in a room together alone, one of them will start lying about sex. It's inevitable. Well, this is not going to be a very interesting live stream if you guys don't pipe up. Maybe this is just a bad time, though. I mean, it's entirely possible. Lady Wiser, I also have a lot of medical issues, and I'm much older than you. So, um, if you don't mind me asking, Lady Wiser, how old are you? A ballpark figure will be perfectly fine. Do you live in LA? I'm just refusing to think about medical stuff right now. Arizona. Okay, well, yeah, yeah. I actually have always kind of had a thing for older women, but I don't know if it's worth driving to Arizona. That was a joke, by the way. Well, kind of a joke. I mean, I am a man after all, and I'm single. Yeah, Lady Wiser, the interesting thing about age is that you will have, like Jamie Lee Curtis is an older woman, but she's still in excellent shape. And I've seen women who are my age and just they look terrible. And I've seen women who are much older than me and they look great. So age is not just a number, but you know, just being older doesn't mean much. Tim Elliott, have you ever been married? No, Tim, I have never been married. I'd never say I've never had a serious relationship. Okay. Um, One of the aspects of my upbringing is that I was dangerously depressed when I went through puberty. So, I mean, relationships just don't mean much to me. Like, I want to be in a relationship. I try to get into relationships, but normally by the time I make a move, women have already moved on. And it's just warning signs stop me pretty quickly. I mean, I have a lot of problems. And I've always wanted to resolve those problems because I don't want to bring somebody else into my life and have them have those problems. And it's one of those things. My father was an abusive man. Not so well, I guess he was physically abusive to my brother, but not so much to me. He was just emotionally abusive. And my grandfather was emotionally abusive, and most likely my great grandfather. And on my mother's side, I mean, I got a letter when my mother passed away. What happened to it, I don't know. But I got a letter saying that her sister didn't attend the funeral out of respect because she didn't want to fight with the other members of the family. And I think my mother had two or maybe three sisters and two brothers, all of whom I believe are dead now. But of all those people, only one of them ever attended the funeral. Lady Wiser, you're better off finding a good female friend that you can open up to. You're better off finding anybody you can open up to. I mean, life being alone sucks, but it's better to be alone than in bad company. Kangaroo Island TV. Hey, Richard, hope you are good. I'm alright, bro. Mean, I should be working on some paperwork for one of my, I guess, two jobs, three jobs, four jobs now, but, uh, you know, just here, just doing my thing. Tim Elliott. My dad was a hothead. He got angry easily. Tim, my father did not want three children. I was the third child. He felt I was a waste of resources. He was very clear on that. Okay, Shiva NJ1 making that $5 with YouTube lol. I made enough on YouTube last year that I do have to declare it on my taxes. All right. Um, that was of course on Random Street Theater, and this channel is growing faster, and this channel is the one getting more of my attention at the moment. Okay, I did a live stream on Random Street Theater. I didn't see as much in terms of activity, so I came over here. You know, this channel is the one that needs to get monetized. Anything over $600 has to be declared. Maybe 601. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Kangaroo Island TV, almost 1,000 subs. It's currently reading 936 subscribers, Kangaroo Island TV, and that's good, but it's way below um, on the watch hours. So getting monetized is a little more complicated. Lady Wiser, my parents were narcissists and both very mentally and physically abusive. I am a survivor of extreme abuse and I choose to live alone with my puppy. I liked and subscribed. Cool, Lady Wiser. I mean, like I say, I don't know how much you would like my company, but if I ever do have a chance to get to Arizona, I will totally play with your puppy. I mean, normally with my friends, their animals are the ones that like to see me the most. Kangaroo Island TV. That's why I go and turn all the devices in my house to Richard Leland Neal while I go about my day. Cool, bro. I very much need the watch hours. But yeah, I used to know a fellow had three dogs, and he had two German shepherds and some mutt, and the mutt belonged to his son. And I would go to his house, and as soon as I got there, all of the dogs would run outside to meet me. The dogs really liked me. I'm very much an animal type person. Now, normally in these live streams, my animals are crawling all over me, but Lady Wiser, I love animals more than people because their love is unconditional. Yeah, I mean, across the street from me lives a blind man. And one day that blind man was walking with his wife, and this big dog was a 130-pound chocolate Labrador was walking behind him. And I said, "Hey, that's a big dog you got there." He goes, "Hey, my dog." And I couldn't let it run through the street, so I put it in my backyard for the night. My brother was home, living with me at the time. And, you know, that dog had been used as what's called a bait animal, which means it was used to test the fighting instincts of a pit bull. So it had a huge bite mark on its face. When I combed it, I found wounds all over it. And yet, it was a loving animal, and it loved to be walked, it loved to be petted, it loved to be brushed. It was so ridiculously sick when I found it. However, I washed it up, and it would have wounds that were infected, and I kept having to drain them, and it had a terrible case of worms. But I walked it through my neighborhood as often as I could. I think I had it for maybe 6 months before it passed away, and I walked it through my neighborhood as much as I could, and it was always happy to see people. It never showed fear despite having been terribly abused. But then that's Labradors. They're excellent pets. They're loving animals. Checking my messages here. Uh, Rochester 92. I have dance music on loudspeaker with Leland over it. Okay. Uh, guys, Kangaroo Island TV. I have a collie dog named Twig. She is the first dog to drive around Australia in an EV with me. Took 33 days. Hmm. You know, I had a dog named Augie, and Augie was not Dan. Is this live? Yes, Dan, this is live. I refused to call him Augie. He originally belonged to my stepmother, and he hurt somebody, so he wound up in my sister's care, which made him my brother's dog, which made him live at my house. And it took 3 years. Thanks, Dan. Or Dan, thanks. You're welcome. And it took me 3 years to train Gus. I called him Gus to the point where I trusted him around people because he was a Doberman. He was a big attack dog. But once I got him properly trained, I could take him down to the grade school and let the little 6-year-olds play with him without fear. So if you train a dog properly, you can definitely get it to be a loyal animal. There's Fade again. Now, Fade, you know that you're only the Gnaw Baron. You know that, right? I prefer dinosaurs to mammals. Birds are so much cleaner than mammals. They can't tell you how many squirrels I've rehabbed after hurricanes. Okay, dinosaurs poop every 15 minutes, Fade, and they can be covered in parasites. Rockster 92. Birds are unpredictable. I don't trust being around them. Mm, birds are birds. I've never had a bird for a pet. That's one thing I've never done. I've had a turtle. I've had a horse. Had a couple of other. Oh, the horse was a beautiful blood bay, and she was a lot of fun to ride. But I was pretty small then, so I wasn't really wasn't really into riding. I know I have ducks. You maintain the environment, and they are fine. They spend most of their time cleaning themselves. Shiva and J1, I had a hedgehog. I had ducks. I had chickens too. Had a lot of animals in my life. I've seen where horses are a way of giving people mental therapy. Yeah, there is such a thing as horse therapy. Uh, Animals are cool. Some animals are. I can tell you that a black mamba is not all that cool to hang around with. I am trying. I'm trying to pay my Verizon bill as we speak, and it's not easy because of the I don't remember my password. Fade. I just had to put our hedgehog down developed an abscess that we couldn't afford. He was 8 years old and on the way out. So why don't you just lance the damn abscess? They're not that big of a deal. Rochester 92. With a big enough lot, I'd get a few badgers, a wolf, and a lynx cat. Yeah, if I had enough money, I would start the Capybara Cafe. Lady Wiser, do you smoke medical marijuana for depression? No, I do not. I am simply fat. Kangaroo Island TV, I'm sorry to hear that. R.I.P. Hedgehog. Yeah, in my life, I've had to have two dogs put down. It was never fun. Rochester 92. Oh, those cafes are great. Saw one in Asia. Yeah, the capybara is a semi aquatic rodent that is actually invasive in the state of California. So what I would want to do is I would want to partner with local wildlife management in order to start a capybara capture program. Dan, I'm glad you don't do drugs. Pot is a slippery slope. Yeah, the only thing you'll see me do on the regular is drink. And the reason I drink in videos is because if I don't drink in videos, I will never drink my alcohol supply. Fade. Kangaroo Island TV. Thanks. He was a senior citizen when he developed? When it developed? So, like I was saying, I would like to partner with local wildlife in order to get a number of animals out of our environment, like the red-eared slider and the capybara. Shiva NJ1, no, marijuana isn't a slippery slope. Another unknown. You know, Shiva, marijuana is something you should drink. Or you should use on special occasions, and you should have a healthy respect for it, just like alcohol. Dan, I've seen many lives destroyed. Yeah, Dan, so have I. Kangaroo Island TV. 8 years is a good age for a hedgehog. He lived a good life. Fade, I love my medical card for pain management. Yeah, look, my understanding is that medical marijuana makes food taste too good. So, I mean, smoke all you want, but I'm not going to be smoking it. It's just one of those things. Shiva NG1, I don't drink alcohol. Okay. I mean, do you do, bro? Rockester 92, yeah, I've never got into weed, only had it when I had no other drugs available. Hello, Raccoon. You just waking up, bud? No, I've been up for a couple of hours, but wanted to see how you guys react to the hair, to be completely honest with you. Lady Wiser, I'm almost 4 years sober from alcohol, and I don't do marijuana, but I do smoke cigs once in a while. Yeah, I whatever cigarettes do for you that don't do that for me. So I was born unaddictable. It's one of the aspects of my biology. Fade, Kangaroo Island TV. Yeah, he was good hedgehog. Could never get a non-blurry picture of him. Gotta go fast, lol. Okay. Hello Raccoon, loving it. Lol. That's good. Rochester 92, the hair is wild for sure. Yeah, I mean, I need to get it cut. Shiva NJ1, no medical card needed, Baron in New Jersey. Just like walking in and getting a six pack rolling rock. But I don't drink. Eh. Kangaroo Island TV, looks like you've just been skydiving. Oh, I don't think they make the parachute for me. Fade. It's legal here in Florida, but the OTC still I took week. Figures you'd be a Floridonian, Fade, or a Floridian, or whatever you want to call them. Hello, Raccoon. SIGs usually heighten focus and taste like shit. Mm, they don't do that for me. I don't have the neural receptors for them. Lady Wiser, no judgment here about anything. I'm a live and I let live kind of person. Yeah, I worked with the homeless for 6 years. You learn to live and let live. Shiva NJ1, hey Baron. He's Fade, bro. Baron is not his name. The only thing legal about weed in Florida is you have to have a medical card. You can't walk into a gas station, buy a joint, and you much does that medical card cost every year? Mm. Hello Raccoon, vapes are like a pack of cigarettes in a little box. To smoke the heightened focus and taste somewhat better. But weed is best. Again, not really needing to get into a vice. Florida man have arrest record to prove it. Lol. Yes. You probably have the meth record to prove it. Lord Blue Mint, hi. Lord Blue Mint, I'm sick. Um, okay, bro. I mean, you feeling okay? Tristran, if you remember him, has been sick lately. He's been having blood pressure problems. Dan, I know many people that are high 24/7, including when they are driving. Now, with it being made legal, kids will think it's okay. They will start younger, and it is 100% proven gateway drug. Yeah, I mean, so is alcohol, though. Lord Blue Mint, I have strep throat. Oh, that sucks. That so sucks. Strep throat. Lady Wiser wishes you feeling better, and you say thanks. Fade, lol, meth, nah, we was never good in chemistry. Yes, but were you good in finding meth? Because it is Florida. Let's be clear on that. I mean, Florida. It's like catfishing in Florida, or finding fishing in Florida. If it rains hard enough, there will be fish walking down the street in Florida. Meth is kind of the same way. If you walk long enough in Florida, you find meth. Holler Raccoon, Dan, I started smoking weed back in 2015. I was 8. Lady Wiser, laughing her rear end off. Okay. That's a thing, by the way. There's an invasive species of catfish in Florida that can go walking after the rain. It's just crazy. Dan, what is your dream job? What keeps you in California? My dream job would be to write for film, and what keeps me in California is the fact that the house I live in is the house owned by a trust that controls my mother's estate. So, in order to resolve the estate, I would have to sell the house. Hello, raccoon. It was illegal and I drive now. Well, hi. It's a different thing because you've been so used to it for so long, you would have to smoke an absurd amount to not be able to drive. Well, yeah, man, but I mean, do you want to be so mellow that if something happens, you're just like, whatever? Dan, drug at 8. Very, very sad. Eh. Lady Withered, besides iguanas falling out of the trees when it's cold in Florida. Yeah, look, Florida is pretty much the invasive species capital of America. You know, they're just everywhere. There's something. So it's like the thing to do in Florida is when it's cold, the iguanas fall out of the sky, and then you take them home and you butcher them and you eat them. And that's what Floridians do. Hello, raccoon. Yeah, I'd rather not scream or punch someone out. Mm, Fade. Lady Wiser, that's south of Alligator Alley. Dan, it's slow, slowest your reaction time, yeah. Rockester 92, lol. Fade again. I hunt pythons in the glades. Yeah, just remember, Fade, if you're hunting pythons, the catch 'em alive technique is preferred because the shoot them and then check later tends to get a lot of native snakes killed, and we don't want that. Hello, Raccoon. Not if you're used to being high, Dan. Dude, if you're high all the time, you could be sterilized by it. So you may have taken yourself out of the gene pool. I hear that, Baron. Lady Wiser. His name is Fade. Baron is what he thinks his title is. Hello, Raccoon is the new stoner that are giving us bad name. No, the old stoners were just as bad. Dan, slow gin fizz. Not sure what you mean. Fade, I live, catch the dispatch, then when I know what I have. That's better, yeah. I am told if you can get the right connections that snakes are quite valuable, especially if you can get like the more exotic albinistic or leucistic breeds, which are quite prevalent in Florida. Rochester 92. You were around in the 70s, stoners. Heard that weed was better, not as engineered. Weed is definitely not better, or was definitely not better then. Weed is like 1,000 times more powerful now. I know stoners, and I know weed. We make the best weed here in California. No questions asked, hands down. They do not make any better weed than the weed in California. I know people that will die on that hill. Pythons, we even have green anacondas in the glades now. Yeah, yeah. Do you have trouser snakes? I'm 18. I was not around in the 70s. Hello, Raccoon. I thought he was talking to me. Rockester 92 True. Dan, Slow Gin Fizz, a very popular alcoholic drink from the 70s. Slow Gin Fizz. Is that made with grenadine? Hmm. Rockester 92. Cali weed is great. Dan, it is not a slow with a W. Apparently, it's a slow with an E. Uh, Lady Wiser, the new weed kicks my butt after one hit, so it's not an option for me. Eh, you could try using it with incense, I guess. I'm partial to rosewood myself. Hello, Raccoon. I object, because Colorado has some pretty good bud. Yeah, but not like California, dude. Just California makes the best weed in the world. Rockster 92, that's what I'm saying, makes you paranoid a lot faster. Hello, Raccoon. Yes, they buy it from California, but they grow it. It's better. Fade. I don't know. Afghanistan Kush is pretty damn good. Yeah, not like California though, bro. Has Dan, I'm from the 70s. Dan, thumbs up. Lady Wise, I got you, Rockester. Shiva NJ1, sorry, but better weed comes from Hawaii. I've never heard of Hawaiian weed before, but I mean, Samoans. Hello Raccoon, New England has some good herb too. Nothing lights white rhino. Okay, so okay, a slow gin fizz is made with slow gin, whatever slow gin is. Lemon juice, simple syrup, club soda to top, garnish with lemon, garnish with a cherry. Now I'm going to have to find out what slow gin is. New England gets its weed from California. Yes. Slow gin comes in a bottle and carbonated water. There's your fizz. No, a slow gin fizz is apparently slow gin, carbonated water, lemon juice, and simple syrup. Northern Lights was my first strain. Good to go. Fade low. Rockester 92. Yeah, I don't know what slow gin is either. Again, I'll have to look it up. Dan, Hawaii weed is called Maui Wowie. Are you sure? Because that's been around a while. Shiv NG1, hey lady, eat gummies. Gummies. Lady Wiser, this chat is lit now that we're talking about weed and alcohol. Yeah, this is really ironic. Slow berries are from a slow tree and flower the gin, like juniper berries. Hello, Raccoon. Granddaddy Purple is one of these most euphoric inducing OG buds worldwide. I don't know, you guys. I mean, you're really out of my element at this point. Uh, Thanks, Kangaroo. Good information. Lady Wiser, no thanks about gummies. You take too much and suffer for a few hours. Raccoon, and it'll stick to it forever. Dan, do you play Lotto? No, I don't. Fade. I don't drink, but when I do, it's death in the afternoon with good Churchill stogie. Eh. Rockster 92, let's talk about cocaine stories. Do you have any cocaine stories? I mean, the other day I heard Don Jr. sneezed and a drug dealer fell out. Whoa, cocaine! Where'd my drug dealer go? Help! I'm stuck in your nose, you bastard! Yeah, straight from the cartel. Let's not and pretend we did. Fade. I saw Rick Scott do a line off a hooker's party when he was still running Blake Hospital. Okay. Kangaroo Island TV. No worries. We make gin on the island and some grow weed too. It's not like California weed though. Yeah, see, Kangaroo. This is why I really wish I had a. I really wish I had a PO box so you could send me some gin. Hello, Raccoon 2, Lady Wiser. That is the whole reason you pace yourself when people read the package. They don't get sick or suffer. Lady Wiser. Thank you for your expertise, Hella. Uh, I don't know. I'm not much of a substance abuser. Dan said that people can't handle life without being drugged up and having their mind altered. Dan, we call that self medication. And people self medicate for a number of reasons, normally because their lives suck. Hello, Raccoon. Not to mention the amount of people that get lit 1,000 time MG gummies. I look down upon them for their stupidity. Rockster DM was just previous experience with me. I don't need them now. Kangaroo Island TV. Hey, that would be fun. Kangaroo Island Spirit is the distillery. They make whiskey too. Clint Gregg. Hello, sir. I just found your channel. What's up, Greg? We're just here chilling. Apparently, everybody's talking about weed, a subject I know very little about. Fade. I used it for pain management when in a car accident, and I can function on weed. Opiates make we want to listen to Mozart in cold, dark room. Okay. Oh, I got some cocaine stories, lol. Okay, Shiva and J1. Lady Wiser, double tap like a and subscribe to Richard's channel. Uh, Rockster92, Dan, the problem is too that antidepressants suck. Recreational drugs feel so much better. I wouldn't know. Clint Gregg, I have epilepsy, so I smoke, but I was prescribed it. You know, dude, once again, you do you. Look, I used to work at a homeless shelter. Lady Weiser, I understand, Clint. Shiva G1, you can send hard liquor through the mail like that, only wine. If you wrap it up, they don't know. Uh, Dan, slow gin is British gin infused with slowberry. Okay. So, as I was saying, Clint, I used to work at a homeless shelter, and we would confiscate all kinds of drug paraphernalia, like, rolling paper and cigars and all those sorts of things. And then one time there was a young man who got kicked out of the shelter, and I just I opened up the drawer full of confiscations, and I pulled out all of the stuff we had confiscated, all the cigars and the slitters and the grinders, and I said, "Here." And he goes, "What's this for?" And I said, "Well, I mean, we're just going to throw it out. Maybe you could sell this, get yourself some money, or if you're going to smoke with your friends, you've got something to contribute. But, you know, there's no reason for this stuff to go to waste, and there's no reason for you to suffer needlessly. So that was one of the things about me as a person is, I'm not necessarily opposed to drug use. I'm more opposed to harmfulness. Richard was dishing it out. Man, like, I once had a guy tell me he was going to go shoplift to get himself some cigarettes. All right? So I reached into the desk and I pulled out a cigar that I had confiscated. And I said, well, could you use this instead? And he says, you know what kind of cigar that is, right? I said, yeah, I don't care what kind of cigar it is. You say you need a smoke, you're going to go do something which gets you arrested to get that smoke. You have the option of smoking this cigar, or I'm going to toss it in the trash, or, you could go get yourself arrested. I'd rather you not get arrested. You know what I mean? I mean, look, okay, I was a. What's up, Tristan? Hope you're feeling better, bro. I was a guard at two different homeless shelters. Yeah, I do that with a reason, not a bad thing to do, Richard. Christian Smith, I didn't get the notification for this. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so I was working at a homeless shelter, and there was this one client. He was a meth head, you know, and I would keep finding stuff on him, and like I think the second time, I pulled his pipe out and I threw it on the ground and I stomped it. And I said, "Look, dude, my job is to keep you in here, not to get you kicked out. So you got to go smoke you got to have your hit. Then you have your hit. You just have it outside, okay? You stash your shit. You have your hit somewhere outside. Then you come in here without anything for me to find because my job is to keep people in, keep people safe. That's my job. My job is not to kick people out on the street, but we can't have you bringing drugs in here. So, I mean, you do what you got to do. I'm not your mama. I ain't going to tell you what to do. But you come in here straight." And he says, "Wow, you really care about us." And it's like, "Yeah, I mean, you can't do your job properly at a homeless shelter unless you care about people." Dan, the reason why he asked you if you knew what kind of cigar it was is because it wasn't a cigar, it was a blunt. No, Dan. What it is we have these flavored cigars here in California, and there's a keychain people have with a razor in it, and they slit them open and they add weed or they replace the tobacco with weed. So you can smoke them as cigars. They're these cheap cigars. Um, they don't have any weed in them, but they're for smoking. Okay, and I mean, I can tell you, if I were handing that guy a blunt, he would not have been asking. Clint Gregg, with your background, what's your opinion on mental health in America and how it's run currently? Mental health in America is run in an absolutely miserable fashion. It's completely useless. Look, I mean, my brother is mentally ill, and his doctors take the attitude of, let's roll him into a corner and watch him die. They're not trying to seek recovery, they're not trying to make him better. And I went to a psychologist once, and she said, "You're not depressed, you're stressed out." And it's like, okay, but you're a psychologist. I'm stressed out. That's a mental health problem. Shouldn't you be doing something about that? So, look, Clint, one of the problems with mental health in America is the average American is under a lot more stress. It's like me right now. I have a job. I just started a new job, and I'm working on a second job because one job just isn't enough. And that's in addition to the fact that I have an acting job that I technically have and an on call job as a security officer. Not to mention, my previous company technically considers me an employee. They haven't asked for their uniforms, they just haven't called me for any work. Rockester 92. Americans treat excessive stress as normal. Yes, we do. Clint Gregg. Thank you. It's awfully, along with my epilepsy, I have schizophrenia and I have no insurance. It's a joke. Um, yeah, it's a very cruel joke. And schizophrenia, I mean, schizophrenia is a bear. It really is. And the problem with schizophrenia is that people just don't take the time, because a schizophrenic can recover, and people don't take the time to try to make them recover, give them the opportunity to do recovery. Dan, most people are good. Did you fail history? Tristram Smith, did you get a job? How was your interview? I broke my hand. Also, you broke your hand. What were you doing, Tristram? Dude, maybe you're twitching too much. Yeah, I did get the job. I'm doing fire watch at a building that's under construction. Hello, raccoon. Go to the corner store and you can get cigars. We newer stoners call them wraps. And yeah, grind up a weed and lick it to seal it again. I'm pretty sure that it was a wrap cigar is what I gave him, dude. Tristram Smith, half my hand is broken, ha ha ha. That's if really half your hand is broken, you're talking a lot of bones. You got some cracked phalanges there. You all wrapped up? Hello, raccoon. After slitting it and grinding up a weed. Clint Gregg, you okay, Tristram? Clint, Tristram has been in the hospital quite a lot lately. He shared with us that he's having some blood pressure problems. Tristram, no, it's my hand, not the fingers, the actual hand, like my palm. Okay, when you say half your hand, your fingers are part of your hand. So if you're saying half your hand, it would mean that, like, okay, half your hand is in just your palm. So did you break two bones? How many bones are broken? Tristan, how many broken bones are we talking about here? You're not answering me. Okay. Maybe it's hard for him to type. My BP went 180 over 101 with 123 pulse the other day. I went to the ER. Clint, Greg, damn, man. I hope it gets better soon. Man, I'm always in and out of the hospital. Sorry to hear that, Clint. I mean, like I said, I have a degree in psychology, so the mental part you can always talk to me about. I mean, I've got more than 1,000 videos, and some of them probably talk about that. So, anytime you want to leave me a comment, ask me a question, feel free. Tristan Smith, my pinky and pinky knuckle and the hand bone. So, what's that? 3 or 4? Yeah, something like that. Dan, if you found a wallet on the street and it was filled with cash, is and a driver's license, and no one saw you pick it up, would you return it? Yeah. I mean, even if you find a wallet on the ground, okay? Let's say you find a wallet on the ground and there's a driver's license. You know, even if you keep the money, return the wallet. You know. I mean, it's like if you threw that thing in the mail, someone's probably going to keep that money anyway. Rockester 92, Dan, take the cash and return the wallet to security. Yeah, like I said, Clint Gregg, it's cool I found a way to deal with it, but by starting my own channel and writing, as well as illustrating my own novel. Cool, bro. I'm a writer as well. Not a published one, but I'm a writer. I love to write. Kingle King. Ahoy, Richard. I was sick too for 6 days. Still feeling weak. Hope you get better soon. Virus is spreading everywhere. Shaking my head. Yeah. Tristram, get well soon. Yeah, it's like, look, Tristram, dude, your bones are matrix tissue. And what that means is that, you take a section of bone, most of that is not actually alive. There are these little things. I haven't streamed in like 3 days, lol. Yeah, well, don't stream till your hand's fixed. Anyway, so your bones have little cells in them that secrete the actual bone, which is the matrix. And they constantly eat up the bone and they secrete it again. So, I mean, make sure you're getting your calcium. You may want to take a calcium supplement. In fact, Tristan, calcium pyruvate would be a good supplement for you to take right now. Make sure you look up the brand for a quality check because most brands have been independently checked if they're any good. Okay, Kangaroo Island TV. Return the wallet whole, regardless of the fact it is illegal not to turn it all in. Bro, you do you. King O King, I had a situation where I returned the wallet with money and owner just thanked me, not offering even a penny. Yeah, I mean you returned the wallet, didn't owe you anything. But anyway, Tristran, our primary concern here is why is your blood pressure so damn high? Okay, what did the doctor say about your blood pressure? Is it that you're not getting enough vegetables? Is it that you're, drinking too much caffeine? In order for us to address that problem, we need to understand the problem. I mean, you don't have to share that information with me, but I mean, dude, I don't want you to get hurt. King O King, I swear next time I'm gonna take my own prize. Lol. Clint Gag. How do you say that, Clint? Gag? Gag? Well, I gotta go, but I like and am going to subscribe to you. Again, Clint, I've got more than 1,000 videos for you to watch. Get to know me, man. Talk more later. All right, guys. So this has been lit, but it is slowing down a little, and I do have things to do. So we may be going off in a few minutes. So, any remaining comments? Anybody else got something to say? I mean, seven. We're dropping down. People have things to do. I hope I got some new subscribers here. I hope they watch more of my videos. I like your lives, man. Yeah, Tristan, I know. Thanks. I don't work tomorrow. Dude, I have an 8-hour turnaround tomorrow. I gotta work 16 hours. Lady Wiser, plus having a heart rate of 123 is considered being in a fibrillation. Yes, it's definitely not a good sign. I mean, a good resting heart rate for me is like 65. Yeah, Tristan, my watch hours are going up. A Sharp Life 16. Yes, dude. I have a night shift. Okay, then I'm off in the morning, then I'm on in the afternoon, and then I think I'm off in the morning again and on again. So, or something like. So I've got a 16-hour. I've got like 3 shifts in a row where it's shift 8 hours off, shift 8 hours off, shift 8 hours off. So it's really really nasty. I was diagnosed with arterial flutters. Okay, yes, but that's the symptom, not why are you getting the flutters is the question. I mean, 90% of the time this is a dietary issue, but I hope you and Tristram collab soon again. Yeah, Tristram needs to heal up first. A chirp life. I'm a security officer. Dan, no, Lady Wiser. Nice chatting with you, Richard. Take care. Thanks. Lady Wiser, hope to see you soon. Dan, don't go. I really have to go. I mean, literally, I have to go to the restroom. And then you have your multiple YouTube shifts. Yes, Shrivan J. Always working on the YouTube. Please Google the British show Barry. Remind me later, Dan. Sharper Life. I work for Kia Motors in Toronto, Canada. Eh? A Chirp Life. How about that? Well, that sounds fun. I will be on Twitch tomorrow. I am very glad you got a job. Thanks, Tristan. I wish I could stream from work, dude, but the building just kills my internet connection. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna run to the restroom, so I'm gonna let you folks go. Thanks for sharing this time with me. I'm Richard, and we're off.